Well, the offense is working very well so far. Only 3 passes we've seen, 1 completed.
It's been a very interesting first quarter, and we'll get the officials to get a precise measurement so that they can respot that ball down at the other end of the field.
But to emphasize how big a play that was by Greg Lutz, now the Eagles really have to pull something out. 1 foot, usually not that tough, but after a play like that, the Bucks may be fired up and may be able to stop the Eagles.
Well, as you say, Walt, the Bucks are known for having an outstanding defensive unit. They know the importance of this play just as well as the Eagles do. And I've been impressed at this point with the way Galliano has handled the offense. He's done a good job. He certainly is not prone to passing, but he's done a great job running the option offense.
Well, he really looks poised and really looks like a good leader on the field, and that's what they need. With the running game that they have, a few backs at a time, any of 2, 3 backs who could get the ball, you really need someone to lead and handle the ball well. That's not making bad pitches on the option, that's pulling it down when you should. And so far, Galliano in his first game has really shown the ability to do just that.
And we're just about ready to resume play here in the second quarter. 4th and less than a yard, called about 12 inches. Backs in the eye again. Galliano on the keeper, first down. Good job, and a big hole on that left side. Give some credit that time to Jeff Fisk. Looks like he pulled inside, gave Galliano a little bit of room to sneak over that left side. Certainly more than enough for the first down. The ball's all the way down now inside the 30-yard line to about the 27.
And a risky call, really showing confidence in the Eagle offensive line. Galliano actually taking a step back and then hitting the hole, whereas normally when you have a 4th and a foot to go, you'll see just a huge push and a guy going over the top. That time, enough confidence in Fisk on the left side to punch open a hole, and he did.
Receivers split left and right. This time, little play action. Galliano looks to the air. He's got a man open. It's Eric Stead. Stead's got 1 man to beat. He tries to go through him, and it's down to the 5-yard line. That time, the tackle made by number 80, Dave Roberts, and he was the only thing left between Eric Stead and the goal line.
Jeff, Galliano's first pass, a beauty. The toughest pass you can make, running left and throwing right, or if you're a left-handed thrower, running right and throwing left, and just put it just where he had to, right on Stead's fingertips. Eric Stead, a tall tight end with long arms, and over the outstretched arms of the Buck defender.
Excellent play. As you say, Galliano throwing on the run across his body. Did an excellent job. Stead, good job after catching the ball. Gets it down to the 5-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for the Eagles. Galliano shouting the signals left and right. Again, the back's out of the eye. They go to the air. There's the passes up. Oh, incomplete. Brahim Mitchell looking for a call there, but the ball was thrown a little bit behind him, Walt. Tough ball to catch.
And again, there's just the timing. It's not Mitchell or Galliano. It's just a matter of them not having worked together a whole lot. The play was there. Mitchell had the curl into the end zone, and Mitchell extremely athletic out there on the sideline. You may see him go up and get a lot of balls this year. That time the timing just wasn't there.
Well, now we've seen 2 attempts at that timing play. I've got to believe they've practiced that play a lot in preseason here.
And that was much closer.
And now the Eagles faced with 2nd and goal from the 5. They go back to the ground. Damon Carroll, touchdown! Damon Carroll untouched. 5 yards for an Eagles score. And we might have a 45-40 game on our hands here. Yes. My goodness.
Certainly not what you expect in Suburban 1, and particularly in a game between the Eagles and the Bucks.
I'll tell you what, the Eagles showing a lot of poise on the field tonight. They really seem confident in their game, and that's a 5-yard carry for Damon Carroll for the score with 10:43 to play here in the first half, and the Eagles back on top. And again, it'll be number 7, Steve Davis, this time on the field to attempt the extra point. Galliano will do the chore of holding. Good snap, kick is up, good penetration by the Bucks, but not good enough. Davis puts it through the uprights, and the Eagles now back on top in this game, 10-7. A very impressive drive, originated at about the 35-yard line, Walt, and the Eagles did an excellent job of mixing up the play selection. And I was very impressed with Galliano's willingness to go back to the air. Has only attempted 3 passes in this game, with 1 completion. The 2 incompletions were timing patterns to the corner, and I think that you'll see that play come into its own as the Eagles have a little more on-field experience in this season.
Well, Jeff, that's the way to get a quarterback to feel comfortable. An athletic quarterback like Galliano may not feel so comfortable back there in the pocket, but you get him out, rolling out, sort of a moving pocket, and he's going to be fairly successful, as he was right there.
So back deep now for the Bucks will be number 40 at the number 10, Lowe, at the bottom of your screen, along with number 80, Roberts, at the top of your screen. And Walt, I wanted to mention what a great crowd we have on hand tonight. I'm so pleased that the folks here in Noristown have come out to support this team. Maybe it's the fact that this is Central Bucks West and people in this town are sports fans. They know the Bucks reputation, but it's a great crowd and certainly much larger than any crowd we saw last year. Davis's kick is a good one. It's going to be taken by Roberts at the 15-yard line. He's got some room up the middle, and he's tackled at about the 35. In on the tackle that time, number 33 for the Eagles, James Kelly. Looked like Jeff Fiss out there also, Walt. I don't know if he was on that kick team or not. No, pardon me, it must have been number 60 for the Eagles, Charles Lett. Sorry about that, Charles. And again, we have a timeout on the field, officials' time. Noristown player trying to adjust his helmet here, looks like. So we've got 10:31 to play. The Eagles, 2 offensive possessions, both converted into scores.
And the second drive, even better than the first. The first drive, a lot of the yardage came on the kickoff return. That time, Noristown just chewed up yardage on the ground and the big play in the air.
So Snyder this time will be taking his team from his own 35-yard line. The handoff goes to Lowe. Oh boy, he breaks into the secondary, and a good open field tackle that time by Galliano. But my goodness, what a hole up the middle.
Yes, and if number 44, Todd Koenig for the Bucks, makes one block, there may be a lot more yardage.
And Lowe is a little slow to get up here. The officials immediately signal to the sidelines, ask the trainers to come out and take a look at him, and he will have to leave the field for at least one play, but he's certainly going off under his own power, jogging off. I'm sure Lowe, just a little wind knocked out of him from that tackle. It was a hard tackle that time by Galliano. Replacing him was number 22, Dan Montgomery. But a big carry that time for Lowe. Picked up almost 20 yards. Let's call it 19 yards on the carry. And again, the Bucks in Eagle territory at the 47-yard line. Snyder, the play action, takes it around the left side himself. Good pursuit that time by the Eagles. Pickup of about 3 on the play. See if we can pick out a number out of that pile. Looks like on the bottom of the pile for Noristown, number 84, Darrell Ray.
And Ray's going to be a key this year for the Eagles. Last year, the ends sort of got pushed around a little bit. This year, they're counting on Ray to provide a little more size and a lot of quickness and toughness over there on the end. That time, you saw him hold his ground. And once Snyder came to him, Snyder went no further.
3 yards on the carry. It'll be 2nd and 7 from the 44-yard line. Snyder goes to the second back through. That's Lowe back into the ball game after missing one play, and that's Jeff Butler in on the tackle. We'll give him half of that tackle, and the other half looks like a little jawing going on down there. The other half of that tackle was number 72, Tom McKernan. He had a few words to say to Mr. Lowe down there on the field.
Well, that quick hitter of the Bucks, that before you know it, they're in your defensive backfield, and Lowe with a lot of steam heading into that backfield. Big-time collision.
We'll call it 3rd and 2 now from the 38-yard line. Eagle defense looking to stop the Bucks in their tracks here. Lowe on the pitch this time. He's got room outside. 1st down. Galliano finally wrapped up Lowe. But it'll be a 1st down from the Eagle 33-yard line. So Noristown had a chance to stop the Bucks there outside of field goal range, unable to do so. And the clock continues to run with 8:18 to play here in the first half.
Well, whereas we may have been expecting a low-scoring game, looks like the winner of this game will be the team to stop the other first.
The last team that has the ball. Snyder, 1st and 10. Again, looks to the air. He's got time. Good penetration. Oh, Snyder slips a tackle, and he is hit hard by Eric Stead. That was number 3, Lofton Thompson, who was in the backfield. Snyder slipped away from Thompson, but I'm telling you, that was a heck of a hit put on Snyder by Eric Stead.
Well, the Bucs' success has come with the quick hitters on the ground. That time they play taking a little longer to develop, and if you give the Noristown Eagles time to pursue, they will be in your jersey and in the backfield.
And a loss of 5 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 15. Let's call it a loss of 4, 2nd and 14. They go back to the air. On the run, man wide open, but overthrown. Snyder had Roberts on the near sideline, had a defender 2 yards behind him. That would have been a pickup of about 6 yards, but well overthrown. It'll be 3rd down and 14 now from the 37-yard line.
Well, in contrast to what we've seen from Phil Galliano, Ben Snyder, a much better pocket passer than he is a rollout passer. And that time, a little bit of pursuit forced him to roll out, and the pass was a little bit long.
So the Eagles here with a good opportunity to put the brakes on the offense here of Central Bucks West. We have 2 men way right. This is an interesting formation. Don't see this too often. 2 men running back to back. Stead almost clipped. Passes up and intercepted. Wow, what a catch that time by Brahim Mitchell. Snyder had plenty of time. Had a very interesting formation with 2 men running one behind the other about a yard apart down the near sideline, and Snyder just threw it right to Mitchell.
Mitchell had a lot of time. The only challenge was keeping his feet in bounds, which being a wide receiver, he did nicely. But there again, Snyder forced to roll out. Actually, that play looked like it was designed to roll out. And the throw was way long. It looked like he didn't know whether to go to the short man or the deep man. And Mitchell playing it perfectly. Ball dropped right into him.
So the Eagles force a turnover there, and they'll take over 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Big defensive play. Snyder picked the wrong defensive guy to have a little sideline pattern with. Mitchell did a great job. The handoff goes to Butler around the right side. He's got one more guy to turn, and he does. Spins away from another tackle. 20 yards on the carry for Jeff Butler.
All Butler wanted to do was square his shoulders, and once he got him square, those Buck defenders couldn't bring him down. A couple of real nice spin moves got him about 5-6 extra yards.
You see that Butler doesn't have that explosive speed that Damon Carroll does, but Butler is a tough man to pull down. Dan Montgomery, the fellow who had pulled Carroll down on that far sideline earlier in the game, couldn't get his hands on Butler, and Butler needed 2 more men to bring him down.
Well, if he turns and squares his shoulders, you're going to need at least 2 every time.
Looks like Butler must have stepped out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. So we'll call it 1st and 10 for the Eagles from that spot. Backs in the eye. They go to Mitchell coming from the wing. Mitchell's got room. Good job that time by Brahim Mitchell. Picks up about 8 on the play.
And there again, another weapon. If they can't get Mitchell the ball in the air, they're going to want to get it to him on the ground. Expect Mitchell to take over some of the job that David Tuggle did last year as a game breaker and a big play man.
Well, the Eagles really do have some excellent talent at the skill positions. They've got most of the fellas back. Most of the fellas playing these spots were starters or the first guys off the bench last year for Noristown. It'll be 2nd down and short, 2nd and 2. Galliano with a long count this time. The pitch goes to Carroll. Carroll looks inside, finds a hole, spins through for a 1st down. An excellent carry that time by Damon Carroll. He's brought down that time, looked like by number 52, Josh Krager.
And these backs are really being allowed to get their feet underneath them. That line has matured an extra year. You have McKernan and Fisk, guys who played a lot last year and just needed the experience. Maybe an off-season of some weight training and a lot of good coaching. Once they have that experience, the backs aren't being touched now for 5-6 yards into the backfield. And for these young backs, that's a big key.
And again, the Eagles now across midfield at the 47-yard line of the Bucks. Galliano fakes the pitch, comes back to Butler. Butler bulls his way through, down close to the 40-yard line, and he's gang tackled, but not before picking up about 8 yards on the carry. And you know, Walt, I talked about the skill positions, the Eagles having such talent and depth there. But you're right, the line has really controlled this game for Norristown, and a lot of the same names that we called last year.
Well, holding their assignments so well, and Jeff Fisk may be the most improved lineman this year. That time you saw Fisk on the left side where the play went to, hold his block, actually a trap in the backfield. And that's what you have to do. If you're going to run those blind pitches and those option plays, you have to keep those men off of your quarterback, because if he's holding that ball out there, he's prone to fumbling.
Let's call it 2nd and a long 2 for Norristown. Again, Galliano comes back. He's under intense pressure. He's going to be sacked. He is. I'll tell you, tenacity that time shown by the Bucks defender. We'll try and get you the call on that player. It was number 66 for the Bucks, Kevin McCaslin, who really got a hold of Phil Galliano and would not let go.
Well, McCaslin was just holding on, waiting for some help in a situation where if he gets up, Galliano may break free. But McCaslin, a great job of reading that play so well and really putting a dent in the Norristown drive.
That time, Galliano really rolled right into McCaslin. McCaslin was there. Some good anticipation that time by the Bucks. So instead of 2nd and short now, the Eagles are faced with 3rd and long, 3rd and 11 from midfield. And they go the handoff inside to Carroll. He's going to get the first down and more. Damon Carroll has one man to beat. Oh, touchdown. 50 yards for Damon Carroll. And the Eagles offense is unbelievable in this ball game. So with 3:59 to play in the half, the Eagles extend their lead to 16-7, and Damon Carroll multiplies by 10 his touchdown yardage. Carried for the first touchdown the Eagles got 5 yards. Now he goes 50 yards on a 3rd and long. Excellent play calling by the Eagles coaching staff.
Well, you lose some, you win some, and that rollout may have even set up that play. Spread out the Bucks defense a little bit. They read it well the first time, and that time, big hole opened up in the middle, and Carroll no trouble hitting it.
Davis, with Galliano holding, adds the extra point. He's been perfect tonight. 2 point-after touchdowns and a field goal, and the Eagles on top 17-7. And my goodness, Roger Grove certainly couldn't be happier with the way his offensive team is playing.
Well, it's so efficient. There hasn't been anything close to a turnover. The ball has not touched the ground once, and there have been hardly any losses of yardage on any play for the Eagles.
And I think an important factor too, Walt, is as we're approaching the end of the first half, first game of the year, and no penalties called against Norristown. I hate to jinx them at all here, but they are playing very, very well, really in sync with one another.
Well, the penalties come up front from motion and timing, and across the front of both sides of the ball, offense and defense, the Eagles are very experienced, and a lot of players who've played together. So they're very in sync, and that's the biggest key. You have to have your offensive linemen in sync, moving all at the same time. And Galliano apparently doing a very good job of keeping a good count and letting his linemen move when they need to.
I think that speaks to a lot of good work on the practice field, that you come out on your first game, you've really got your game together. These guys are playing as a unit. And I think this Norristown squad feels that, as a group of guys who have played together now, had a lot of starting assignments last season, they think this might be something special this year.
Well, Jeff, you have those 6 volunteer coaches, and you have some great players in there. You have a guy like Carl Schrader, who was a great lineman for the Eagles, who I'm sure has been working with the offensive line.
So this Norristown crowd seeing quite a ball game here on the season opening contest. Davis with the kick. This time he's going to come to the near side of the field. Roberts will take it at about the 14-yard line and come back to the far side of the field. He breaks several tackles, still not down, and he's finally wrapped up at about the 32-yard line. Looked like Lamont Johnson was one of the fellas in on that tackle.
That's the second time tonight we've seen number 33, James Kelly, do some excellent special teams work for the Eagles. That time coming down the left side, and chase Roberts all the way across the field to get in on that tackle.
Well, you certainly can't speak ill of the Eagles' offensive efficiency. They've had 3 possessions, have turned that into a field goal and 2 subsequent touchdowns. Ben Snyder now will try to move his squad downfield. He looks to the air. No, hands off inside. Excellent, excellent job. Lowe is going to go all the way, it looks like. He's got, pulled down from behind by Eric Stead. I'll tell you what, talk about some speed by Eric Stead. Lowe was in the backfield, I think, in the defensive backfield before Norristown realized who had the ball, and the Eagle defenders were able to run him down. I thought he was going to go all the way.
Yeah, that sure was a big play. Phil Galliano, the only other man who had a shot, but Galliano did not have a good angle to pull down Lowe. And Eric Stead, tremendous work to chase Lowe down from behind.
Big gain, though. The ball's all the way down to the 18-yard line of Norristown. And I'll tell you, Bill Lowe is a heck of a football player, and Ben Snyder has been doing a fabulous job of decoying and hiding that football. This time on the reverse, it's Roberts off the left side. He tries to come up inside. He's going to pick up, looks like 4 or 5 on that play, Walt.
Yeah, well, the Eagles weren't fooled on that. They had a lot of players over on that side staying at home. Darrell Ray was over there, number 84. But the Bucks were able to get some yardage out of it because they kept some blockers over there, and that's what you need on that reverse. You keep a few blockers over there, and you're usually going to overpower the other team for at least 5 or 6 yards.
So we've got now 2nd down and 6 from about the 13-yard line. 2:40 to play here in the half. Handoff goes to Lowe, this time off the right side. Good job that time. Looked like Jeff Butler in on the tackle.
And again, any play that's a little bit slow to develop, we'll see Jeff Butler in it.
And again, a timeout on the field. Mike Pettin wants to talk to Ben Snyder and his offensive unit here. A big play for them. Norristown certainly with all of the momentum right now in this second quarter. It's been a great quarter of football for them. And we've got 3rd down now. Let's call it 3rd and a long 3 from well, they've got to get it, looks like, Walt, to about, about the 8-yard line to get the 1st down.
Yeah, a touchdown for the Bucks here would really even things out some. Norristown, of course, with a fabulous drive after the turnover, but if the Bucks could come right back and score, it would really even the game out more, and Norristown would only be up by 3.
Well, I can't wait to see Damon Carroll's total yard statistics for this game. He picked up about 50 on that opening kickoff. We know he got another 50 on this last touchdown run, so he's easily over 100 total yards for the game. He's having quite an evening for himself.
Well, the Eagles have come back to what makes them the Eagles, and that's great team speed and great movement.
Well, the Eagles have a long history of outstanding running backs, and certainly these two fellas tonight, Jeff Butler and Damon Carroll, go a long way towards meeting that tradition, and a real good, solid effort by Phil Galliano, who has done an excellent job of leading the offense. So Ben Snyder sets up 3rd and 3 from the Eagle 11-yard line. Long count. Snyder goes to his key man, Lowe. Lowe's on the outside. That's a touchdown. Wow. Around the left end. Not only did he get the 1st down, but an easy touchdown. Lowe was untouched around the corner. The only guy out there who had a chance was Sidney Bull, and Bull certainly could not get turned around in time to pull down the speedy Lowe.
Well, both of the main backs in this game have shown the ability to turn the corner and break away. That time, Lowe certainly did get around the corner and hit the end zone easily.
Let's call that a 12-yard carry for the touchdown. At 2:13, boy, we are seeing a score fest here. And we've still got 2 minutes to play in the half. Snyder will hold. It's down. The kick is up. It's good. We've got a penalty on the play. Both officials behind the defense signaled a penalty there. If it's against the Eagles, of course, it'll be declined and assessed on the ensuing kickoff. And Snyder is making the decision here. Obviously, the penalty against Norristown. Looks like Norristown caught with too many men on the field here. And that's the call. penalty is declined, and the extra point is good. So the Eagles see their lead narrowed to 3 points once again. It's 17-14, and quite a ball game.
And now Jeff Galliano will get a real test with 2:13 left, around 2 minutes after the run back. He'll get to run a 2-minute drill, and some more points for Norristown would really be a blow to the Bucks.
Well, like I said, this game may be decided by who has the ball last. Both offenses doing a super job tonight. The difference right now in this ball game was the interception by Brahim Mitchell of Snyder's pass. Again, well into Norristown territory, and the Eagles able to turn that around and drive 80 yards for a touchdown. Of course, while we have just a moment, we want to remind you that this game is being brought to you by the Norristown Area School District on their public access channel. And we'd like to thank Mr. Tony Koya, our producer and director for this evening, doing his usual superb job at running the show here at Roosevelt Field. And John Yencha with the kick, low kick, end over end. Butler lets it go by. It's going to be taken by Thompson, and he's not going to get far on the ball. Got a little pushing and shoving further upfield here. Thompson that time a little tentative. It looked like Butler might have been able to scoop that ball up, but he elected to allow it to roll past him.
Well, probably a smart play by the captain. The Eagles are up by 3. I mean, would love to go into the half up by at least that. Butler not wanting to take that chance with the ball skipping along, even with his great hands of fumbling the ball or muffing the ball. And Yensa accomplished what he wanted to do, and that's a squib kick and keep the return short.
Galliano, the hands off to Carroll. Carroll picks his way up the left side. Good carry that time. He's wrapped up by 3 Buck defenders, including number 10, Bill Lowe. Boy, you've got 2 guys in Butler and Lowe who are workhorse backs. And Damon Carroll, of course, also playing both ways for the Eagles, but just amazes me how these guys can be so productive on offense and can stay out there virtually the entire game. Pickup of 7 on that carry. It'll be 2nd and 3 from the 34-yard line. Little bit of a busted play. Butler tries to run off of it. Boy, I tell you, that guy doesn't give up, does he? He had to fight hard to get back to the line of scrimmage, and he did just that.
Well, Jeff, speaking of the two-way backs, high school football, especially in this Suburban 1 League, is really a stars game, and you need the workhorses everywhere and great players all around, as the Bucks and Eagles have, but it's really a stars game. That one person, as we saw in some Eagles games last year, can really kill you.
Damon Carroll takes the pitch on 3rd down, and he gets a 1st down. Excellent run that time by Carroll. We've got 21 seconds, 20 seconds, and a stoppage on the play. I'm not sure if, I guess Carroll was able to get out of bounds. Now we have a timeout called by Norristown. Either way, Roger Grove elects to call a timeout. He'll talk it over a little bit with Phil Galliano.
That's the first time we've seen the Eagles use that wide pitch, and Carroll had some running room to the outside.
Damon Carroll, with his outstanding speed, is certainly the ideal back to turn the corner for Norristown. And you've got Butler with his strength and bullishness up the middle. It's a good combination in the Eagle backfield. Again, the Eagles up by 3 here, 17-14. They have 1st down from their own 44-yard line. And I'll be interested to see whether Roger Grove is content to tuck the ball away and go into the locker room up by 3, or if he's going to look to the end zone here, perhaps.
Well, you'll be able to tell by the plays that he calls. If you do see more of a pitch to Carroll, he's looking for big yardage. If you see him just tuck it in Butler's gut and let him carry, you can bet that he's looking to get in with 3 points, and if Butler breaks one, then that's a bonus.
And this time we have wideouts left and right. Again, the backs in the I formation. The handoff goes to Carroll up the middle. He spins off 2 tackles, but that's about it. And he's stopped up right at about the line of scrimmage.
And you see lining the backs up in the I formation, just playing a real solid conservative game as the clock runs out.
And Roger Grove allows the clock to expire, and the Eagles will go into halftime with a 3-point lead. And boy, I'll tell you, what an outstanding half of football. Both teams, just excellent squads. I was very impressed by Phil Galliano and the way he led that Eagle offense. And we'll be back in just a moment, folks, to discuss that first half of play. And we'll see you in just 1 second. And at halftime, as we just said, the Eagles up by 3 points, 17-14, in what has been a well-played ball game to this point. Walt, I've been very impressed with Noristown's offense to this point in the game.
Well, you have to figure that this is going to be something that's going to go on for all year. The way they're playing, if they were rusty at all, they would certainly not look as efficient. Defense is much easier to play than offense this early in the year. So Noristown must have put in just some tremendous practice with all the coaching that they have and Roger Grove's usual tremendous job. Everything has just come together extremely well. And we've even seen Galliano's passing ability. In some years, Noristown doesn't have the air attack. They seem to be able to do anything they want tonight.
We've seen 2 outstanding running games, and of course the big stars so far. For the Eagles, it's been Carroll, and for the Bucks, it's been Lowe.
That's for sure. Damon Carroll started this year off right with that big kickoff return, and Bill Lowe's just been so steady, breaking it when he's allowed to, and just getting the 5 and 6 yards when that's all that there is.
Certainly Lowe has been the key to the Bucks offense. Let's give you a quick recap of that first half of scoring, and there certainly was enough to go around. On their first offensive possession of the year, after that kickoff return that Walt just mentioned of 50 yards by Damon Carroll, the Eagles were stalled down inside the 10-yard line, but managed to pick up a 25-yard field goal from this year's kicker, Steve Davis.
Yeah, Davis looks real good so far. He's been perfect on his extra points, and the way Noristown's playing, it looks like he'll get a lot of chances for extra points, and they'll be deep a lot for field goals.
And that opportunity, that score was at 7:43 of the first quarter. At 3:32, the Bucks struck right back. It was a 12-yard run by Bill Lowe. They added the point after touchdown to go up 7-3. Eagles didn't waste much time, coming back with a touchdown of their own. That was a 5-yard touchdown run by Damon Carroll. With the point after touchdown, the Eagles up on top. Eagles then extended their lead on a 50-yard rush by Damon Carroll for a touchdown. Point after made it 17-7, but the Bucks doing a great job with that last Noristown score coming only 3:59 remaining in the half. The Bucks put it in about a minute and a half, still 2 minutes to play in the half, when Lowe on a 12-yard run took it in. The point after made it 17-14, and that's where we are right now.